Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. You know, I love our musical guest. And today, this very patient, flexible human being, Nate Curtis, Pulsar Radio, is on the show after, I don't know, 75 times trying to schedule it. All my fault. Nate, welcome to the show and thank you publicly for being patient with me. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a journey to get on the show.
I know, and it should not be a journey, but I've been on a journey, and unfortunately, you got dragged along with it. But I love how you have your name. I like the moniker. I like all this stuff. I want to take a deep dive into that. But before we do that, I think I told you before we went live, the audience loves origin story. They want to know kind of your upbringing. Did you always know you were musical? Did you sing in front of the mirror, your parents? So give us a 411 on what Nate Curtis was like as he was kind of growing into his own.
Well, yeah. So like a brief history. I just like my mom played drums when she was real young, and she kind of passed it on to me. So I was pretty much a drummer in bands growing up and stuff, marching band, whatnot. And then also just being in original bands, or we'd play covers, and then we'd start writing our own songs like at the age of 16. So yeah, just been doing it for a while now, and moved to Atlanta for music, lived in New York for a little while, also Los Angeles now. So just lived all over for music. So
So what was the process? So I think most kids, I feel like, want to be in a band. They want to write music. They're especially teen angst. You were talking about you were 16.
yep.
I think that all of us kind of go through that, but it's different when you realize that that's what your passion is and what you want to do. So what was the transition like for you when you kind of made it from going from teen angst to an actual career and what you do for a living?
I think a lot of it had to do with like the seriousness and the discipline of just my band director in high school. I think he was very serious about music, and I think that kind of rubbed off on me and also my bandmates. We're all in the same like marching band and jazz band class, so we had this discipline from him teaching us like, hey, music is a serious thing, and you can actually do something with it. So we I think it was his influence, Mr. Williams, my band director, that made me really serious about it, because before that it was just like, hey, yeah, teen angst in the garage, like screaming it out.
Well, I think it's cathartic for a lot of teens. It's a way to get your emotions out because we don't know what we're doing with our emotions at that age. Did
Exactly.
did your music progress? Did the way, because you write, did your music progress from teen angst, and how did it progress? I think a lot of people think, oh, well, you started as a 16-year-old. How do you know what you're going to begin to develop and write? So give us kind of a journey of how that works, because writing is completely different than just performing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely life experience. I mean, when you're a teenager, of course, growing up, and then just I think being in bands and touring, I think touring and getting out on the road had a lot to do with just like having a life experience and being able to use that experience to put to words, like poetry and whatnot, and just touring. Because at a young age, even at 16, I was touring in drum corps around the country, and that experience within itself was, I think, very eye-opening, and also lended to being able to write some songs as well, and having different topics and things other than just being an angry teenager. Having some life experience.
So talk about your writing process, because everybody's got one different. People collaborate, some don't. Tell me about your actual process there. What is it like when you come up with an idea for a song? How do you develop it to the point where then it becomes a song that you record and perform?
Well, it all starts, actually, in my opinion, it starts with this thing right here, this acoustic guitar. So I start with this and just basically start strumming some chords, whether it be just your basic, four chords or whatever, or even three chords, depending. And then from there, it's like I think it's just, depending on what's going on in my life at the time, it's right, like I'm going through some family stuff with my uncle. He just got into a car accident. I've been writing songs about him. And then even before that was, the pandemic was really, I think, the fact that I lost my job, and also just, trying to get at, I think, was very pivotal, and as far as, helped form some of my songwriting. And also I think it formed Pulsar Radio as well, because during that summer in 2020 of the pandemic, there was a lot of stuff going on with space, and we weren't paying attention to that. We were paying attention to everything else going on. And my wife and I, we decided to like go out and actually, kind of, look out into space and things, and go, star searching and things like that, and just kind of get our minds off of the current situation. And that's what I think what branched Pulsar Radio, and also just the songwriting lended to that as well. So like Sea of Dreams, for instance, is about my grandmother and her passing, but also it's about how, the sea is eternal. Like, it's something that's always going to be there, it might even outlive us. You never know.
Right. So when you perform a song, I'll use Sea of Dreams as an example. Do you go back to that emotional spot? Do you get emotional when you're performing a song, especially one that's that personal?
I do, yes. I mean, in fact, I just played a show the other night at Old Town Pub in Pasadena, and it was one of the songs I've written about my uncle recently. And I definitely had some tears coming out of my eyes while I was playing. So yeah, for sure.
I hate that for you, but I can tell you as an audience member, nothing connects you more to the artist than to see that real emotion come out, because then you can see that they still have a connection to the song. It's not this distant kind of a songwriting machine. You actually did something that was from the heart and from experience. And I think a lot of the crazy powers that be in your industry forget that human connection is really what drives people to your music. So tell me, I've got Nate. I get that one, Nate. Yeah. You talked a little about Pulsar Radio. There's a lot of people. I had a lot of questions before we went live. Pulsar Radio. Do you have a radio station? Do you have tons of questions actually. So tell us a little bit. You touched on it, but Pulsar. Younger kids might not even know what Pulsar is. So kind of give us a little more background on that.
Well, Pulsar stars are actually neutron stars. And when a star dies, it kind of leaves like a footprint, or like I would say something left over basically of what they were. And what pulsar stars are is they actually emit like light and also sounds from space, and can be used as a lighthouse per se for space travel. So Pulsar Radio is like basically tapping into the stars, I would say, and being inspired by space, and that's what the whole space rock thing that I'm going with like Pink Floyd, for instance. I know there's some kids out there don't know who Pink Floyd are.
That's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a psychedelic thing to it too, but it's also space and science, and just trying to get people to think a little bit outside of the box and think more about space and science and things. And pulsar stars, are definitely a lot of people don't know what they are.
They don't.
As far as the radio side of things, it's like there actually is Pulsar radio shows out there, so it is kind of confusing. I've been noticing people are saying, "Oh, is it a radio show?" Because there are a lot of podcasts out there and things, and I'm like, no, it's not a radio show; it's an actual band. But
so I'm glad you cleared that up, because we did have a lot of questions. I knew the answer from doing a little bit of research. All right, so I'm going to shut up, and you're going to perform 2 songs for us. So I'm going to take myself off, give us a little background on the first song, and then I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, the first song is a song we've been talking about. It's Sea of Dreams. It's about my grandmother. We lost her in 2014. And it's just kind of keeping her memory alive, and also it kind of focuses on the current times and things that we're dealing with COVID and things too. So I'm sure you'll hear it in the lyrics. This song is Sea of Dreams.
Awesome.
Here we go. I'll make sure I got the right chord. Me. There we go. Oh, my heart is broken since you went back to the ocean. Our dreams, it seems, haven't turned out how we want them to be. The sea remains for you and me. It flows eternally. Oh, how I wish you were here with me to tell me everything is okay. Just go back to sleep. Oh, my brain is choking since negative words were spoken. The world, it screams for sanity with uncertainty. The sea remains for you and me and flows eternally. Oh, how I wish you were here with me to tell me everything is okay. Just go back to sleep. Oh, how I wish you were here with me to tell me everything is okay. Just had a bad dream. Oh, I wish you were here with me to tell me everything is okay. Just go back to sleep.
I loved it. And I take myself off, which you probably know if you've seen the show, just in case you're really bad. God's honest truth. No, knowing about the song was, I love your voice. Knowing about the song was good. I definitely found myself thinking about your grandmother.
Yes.
And so then you start thinking about your own loved ones. I loved it. When you say space rock, I had no idea what that was going to be.
Yeah.
So that was not what I expected. Pleasantly, that was not what I expected. So I loved it. That was really awesome.
Yeah, I'm thinking like David Bowie kind of inspired stuff too.
So now that I'm getting it. But I love that you explained it. And once I heard the music, I'm like, all right, I get it. So, all right. So tell us what song number 2 is that you're going to take us out with. And then we will pop back on for just a second so you can share all of your information. But what's number 2?
Yeah, so song number 2, this was also released recently. It's a song called "We Are Not Alone." And it's just we are not alone in the universe, pretty much. But also we are just not alone. Like trying to comfort people out there to say, hey, I feel just like you. I've been there. We're all in this together, and we're all going through a lot of the same stuff. Maybe different things, but emotionally, life is a roller coaster. So
Amen to that.
Totally. So this is "We Are Not Alone."
Perfect.
Sink down low beneath the undertow, so you could find yourself. Look past the grave as you ride that wave. Not afraid to die at all. Raise up your eyes to the starry skies. We are not alone. You, my friend, are a star in the air. Walked upstairs, then took great care of the neighbors who lived below. You found your place out there in space, as we are all the same. Raise up your eyes to starry skies. We are not alone. We, my friends, are all stars in the air. Raise up your eyes to the starry skies. We are not alone. We, my friends, are stars in the air. They will shine. Yeah, we'll shine, shine till all is shown.
I love it. Now I get the theme. I'm understanding. It's
All right. Cool.
I also take myself off so I can listen to the words and not be distracted.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it. That
Thank
is
you.
such a thoughtful music. It's thought-provoking music, which I love.
Yes,
All right.
there's fun involved, but also a lot of emotion. I mean, that song was also inspired by my wife. Like, we were at the beach, like the first line, "Sink down low beneath undertone." I saved her from actually getting taken away by a wave. So that was the first line of the song. So
That's the kind of stuff I love that the audience loves too. I love that because that just deepens and broadens the connection to the artist and to the song and to your music. All right, so tell them what's the best way they can download, buy your music, find out where you're performing, get merch if you have it, learn more about you. What's the best way?
Yes, I mean, the best way the connected is reverbnation.com/Pulsar Radio. I believe it's scrolling on the bottom there.
It is.
But also, if you want to buy my music, you can buy, I think, the latest single, Interstellar Sunday, on the Reverb Nation page. And if you want to buy merchandise, you can go to storefrontier.com/Pulsar Radio merch, and that will get you connected to our merch page. We're also on Instagram. We just started a TikTok page, which I'm totally not I don't no idea what TikTok
I
is.
am clueless.
Yeah, and we're on YouTube as well. If you want to check us out on YouTube, all of the songs, I believe, or not the songs, but the shows are being posted on Songkick. So if there's any shows coming up, which we have, I think there's like 5 shows coming up. That's all on Songkick. It's also linked to our Spotify. If you're on Spotify, the Songkick page is on there, so you can see when we're playing, if we're coming to your town, kind of thing. So
Fantastic. Yeah. All right, man. That was well worth the wait for me. Thank you for being patient. You're a joy. Come back anytime you've got new music, want to launch something, want to talk about something. You guys go out and support creatives like Nate. It's so important. They pour their heart and soul into this, and they just want their music to be heard. Of course, they want to make a living too. So it's super good. I have no problem doing shameless plugs for buying stuff. Thank you, Nate, for being on the show. Thank you so much. All right, guys, go out, support Nate. ReverbNation.com/Pulsar Radio. And you can reach out to me if you want more. We'll see you guys soon. Everybody have a great